Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Fit and Focused for Remote Work and Digital Nomads podcast. Guys, today, first of all, my name is Shurina. I'm a certified health nutrition, brain performance coach, productivity coach, just someone with a lot of passion, guys, for not just sharing nutrition tools or behavior tools, but to share the science of optimization of self so we could feel, do, and live our best lives and all of the dreams and goals that we have inside of you. So that's my biggest passion, that optimization aspect of it. Yesterday, we did the episode about dopamine and burnout and how they are related and how certain foods that you might be putting on your plate daily can be contributing to your burnout, and some of the foods that you might add to improve your motivation, especially when you're already on a tired and fatigued side, but you still need to keep going at least for a while until you figure out your recovery much better, right? We also talked about foods that stimulate that dopamine, that molecule of motivation, of get after it, of getting things done. So that's what dopamine is all about: craving, motivation, drive to pursue. It's not a pleasure molecule as you might hear in older resources. No, it's the molecule of pursuit, of action. And yeah, it gives you kind of like rewarded feeling once you in pursuit, but don't let it fool you. It's not about pleasure. It's about the pursuit, about the achieving, about the action. That's what it does in your brain. It stimulates the spark to start that action when you know that there is a reward. That's why, for example, one of the easiest because it doesn't require anything, no food, no exercise. One of the things you can do to improve your motivation instantly is to envision the reward that is super meaningful to you, and you connect it to the action that you need to do that you might not be as willing and happy to do. Like if you on some level want to stay fit, want to get into exercise, but you have this kind of friction and a little bit of laziness and procrastination. So before the exercise, go through all of the things that staying fit will add into your life. Like really picture yourself fit and sexy and strong and just feeling good in your body, and you'll see how that will make you want to exercise. But yeah, in your vision also don't forget to connect that to exercise so your brain knows how to get there. But yeah, yesterday we also talked about foods and some supplements, some substances like caffeine, like green tea, that can work for you and against of you. And we talked about how you can use that combination to feel motivated but not anxious and stressed, burning yourself out, burning your candles from both sides. So please check back to that episode that we did yesterday. Today, I wanted to mention a couple of things about dopamine and all of the great neurotransmitters that make you feel motivated, confident, ready to go. Most of those things will not work. Either will work much worse or not at all, and you're going to start having problems. Most of those things in your brain will not work if you don't have the basics, like good sleep practice, 7 to 9 hours every night on the same schedule. A good light exposure practice, meaning viewing a sun, especially in the first part of your day sufficiently. Ideally in the first hour of waking when the sun is out, even more ideal in the first hour of waking that coincides with sunrise. I understand, having lived in Siberia and places like London, that it's not always possible, but then you can choose and use different tools to kind of stimulate that sun exposure to an extent, like circadian lamps, for example, that you can purchase on Amazon almost anywhere and from different retailers that have the intensity of 10,000 lux, trying to imitate sunlight. It's not nowhere near close to doing that, but better than nothing. So in the first hour of waking, Get out there, especially if the sun is there. For sure, in the first 3 hours, that's what neuroscientist Andrew Huberman recommends based on research and based on data. In the first 3 hours, you need to spend sufficient time outside. If it's super sunny, 5 minutes is enough. If it's kind of gloomy on a cloudy side, probably closer to 15-20 minutes. If it's super, super dark, then probably closer to 30 minutes outside. Just do the walk, maybe schedule a call that you can do walking, or do, I don't know, some groceries, some errand, that needs to be done anyhow. So sun exposure, sleep, and B vitamins that a lot of people actually miss insufficient amounts. There's a whole range of B vitamins, B1, B2, B3, B5, B7, B9, B12, right? And you need to be getting all of them. And it's not actually that easy in our food environment where a lot of stuff is processed, lacks those nutrients, and people just don't eat variety of foods. People just tend to kind of stick to the same stuff. I eat variety just because I know that each food group delivers all the different nutrients, and it's impossible to get it from eating, let's just say, just meat or just plants. That's why I eat a huge variety of different foods. Most people don't realize that by eating just few foods, they miss out on a lot of essential nutrients. And especially B vitamins, again, super important for your nervous system and your brain. If you're probably familiar with the concept that vegans and vegetarians who tend to be lower on B12 tend to have neurological problems. And B12, for example, it can cause the lack of it, damage to your neurons, to your nervous system that is permanent and not reversible, that is very adverse. Because B12 has something to do with myelin or insulating your nerves and that insulation is important for anything that is happening in your nervous system, like your brain working, your heart pumping, etc., your muscles contracting, and your stomach is also a muscle. Anyhow, a lot of science, but you want to remember B vitamins. Take a supplement, guys. My advice, take a supplement with normal amounts of good quality, not super doses, and you'll save yourself from a lot of mental and physical problems, especially guys, if you are on a vegan vegetarian diet or some kind of restrictive diet when you decide to eliminate carbs, fats, or restrict your proteins, like in a big way, and eating, I don't know, once a day, right? Take a freaking supplement. That really matters. So besides all of that, I wanted to cover with you a very specific skill set that I'm working on with most of my overwhelmed, highly productive, highly ambitious clients, entrepreneurs, business owners, or people who lead a lot of other people, different team leaders, tech teams, or sales team, executives and management positions. So there is a skill set that will allow you to not feel like your head is about to burst from all the decisions you need to make for yourself, in your personal life, in your work, and for other people as a leader. You need to learn how to simplify as many decisions as possible, how to minimize decisions, how to create more space in your head, because we all have limited capacity, and it's been shown in studies, to make good decisions and to feel not overwhelmed and to have your brain at its fullest potential, at your fingerprints, ready to be used when you need it, right? Very often when you just start getting more responsibilities, when you just start managing people and projects, you lack that skill of being efficient and effective with your decisions. And what happens, you make a lot of unnecessary decisions in all the wrong times, and you end up feeling cognitively very spread out, like you are all over the place, and you have scattered attention and energy. And then at the end of the day, you feel like there were so many things, you're not sure what you have done, and you missed quite a few essential things. And it repeats day after day after day, and you're not dealing with that, and that accumulates, causing you stress and anxiety. And very often that contributes to your burnout as well. So decision making better decisions, making the right decisions, eliminating the ones that you don't need to make, it's a skill, and you need to practice it. And it's not gonna get better over day. You need to practice this over and over and over again until it becomes your second nature, and you start asking yourself the right kind of questions before making any decision. So let's get right into that, like very practical skill set around decisions. So there are 4 aspects of simplifying your decisions. Those are elimination, delegation, automation, batching. And I'm going to give you examples for you to understand it much better. Elimination. First of all, that is the first step to simplify anything. You got to ask yourself, is this decision needs to be made at all? What I mean by that is, let's look at your wardrobe. And I'm also talking about my personal example, an example that I walked through, mostly women actually, because we tend to be more concerned and more complex in our wardrobe. So your wardrobe, do you make decisions every single day about what to wear for different occasions in your day, in your life? Like, do you have those moments, and a lot of them, when you stand in front of your wardrobe and you're like, what do I need to wear today? What do I need to wear to go to work or to go to a co-working space or just go out to do some errands? What do I need to wear to do my exercise? What do I need to wear to go for a walk at night or to meet up with my friends? Do you make a lot of those decisions that take, quite some time? And not only time, but they actually take your cognitive ability to make better decisions and things that might be much more important. Unless you're in a fashion industry, guys, your wardrobe should not be a fashion statement. Your wardrobe should be simple, to the point, to the occasion. I actually also worked as an image consultant. So I'm familiar with this capsule wardrobe concept, meaning you have different sets of clothing that you wear for different occasions, and you can mix and match items in those capsules, in those categories, so to speak, and you don't make a lot of decisions. That works for a lot of women, but first, of course, you need to work on your wardrobe, figure out what is the right thing for the right occasion, and more often than not, you just have to simplify things, have a few sets for going to work, for running errands, for different seasons, for going to the gym, for meeting up with friends or going on dates. Have a few capsules and wear them when the occasion occurs. Don't make decisions, especially if this is a thing like you work from home and you just need to look presentable. Maybe clean shirt, clean blouse, something like shorts, trousers, skirts, and don't make any decisions. Maybe have a few sets. Some are, some that you wear, some that are clean, to substitute that. And when the morning comes, just wear that. That's how you eliminate decisions. You make decisions in advance and you don't make them anymore. Maybe once a month you reconsider things, you buy certain things, and that's it. That's to elimination. And you just gotta look at all of the different things you make decisions around your house. Like breakfast. Do you have to make decisions for breakfast? And that can also be mixed with delegation, with automation. Do you really need to make decisions 3-4 times or sometimes even more per day about your meals? Or you can create a routine, prepare things, pre-plan things, order meal delivery, or order someone, or ask someone to cook for you. Can you pre-plan, pre-make, do meal prep, right? And then you don't need to make decisions ever. Like for me, I make decisions once a week about my food when I order my groceries, and then I have everything for my meals that I usually have 3 of those meals, and I know exactly what I'm going to have for each meal, meaning for my breakfast, I start with fruit. I have some yogurt. In the afternoon, I have some protein, sardines in cans. That's usually the thing with some carrots. And at dinner, I cook vegetables, protein, and that's about, and my carbohydrate. That's about it. That's the formula. I don't think many times about what I gotta cook. I rotate my things, what's in the fridge, I cook it. I'm not thinking where to order, what exactly to eat. I just do it and get back to work or recovery or doing my things, working on different projects. So elimination, and here already I'm talking about delegation. Like maybe it makes sense for you to order meal delivery and compare it to ordering it all the time or very often going out to eat. Like imagine how much time you're spending, like how much energy to decide, for example, to go out for a meal every single day, you have to probably dress, you have to go somewhere. Well, the walk part is good, but other than that, you have to make so many decisions already around your food that you're gonna have several times per day, right? So maybe delegate it, maybe automate it and do meal delivery, and you don't have to think about your food for like the whole month or 2 months or more. So elimination, delegation. About delegation, let's get into that. I personally have a rule. I don't do things that I don't enjoy and that are not in my zone of genius. 2 things that I don't enjoy that are not in my zone of genius. Like, I enjoy cooking. I'm also a nutritionist, right? I love working with food, so I cook my food. Even though when it comes to cooking, I do it just once a day. The rest of the stuff is not cooking stuff, like again, canned sardines or baby carrots or yogurt or nuts and seeds or fruit. They don't require cooking at all. But I do enjoy cooking. That's why I cook. For people who don't enjoy cooking and it's like a whole hustle for them, I do recommend meal delivery. And I always, when I work with my clients, reach out to different meal deliveries, and I create usually special plans. And I get in touch with that meal delivery wherever my clients are, be that California or Singapore. And I order that for my clients, or I tell the delivery to contact my clients and tell them where to pay, and that's it. And then my clients have food for months. So that's about food. I do it, but a lot of people delegate it. I don't do cleaning. I don't enjoy cleaning. I actually quite hate cleaning. So I always ask a person to clean for me. Like, there are cleaning services everywhere these days, right? And it saves you a ton of time. Like, for me to do that cleaning, I would have to spend 3-4 hours. In hour of my work, it's worth about $100 per hour. And so for me to have someone do it for much cheaper, it saves my energy, saves my time, and saves a lot of pain in the ass, because I do not like to clean laundry. I don't do my laundry either, especially here in Mexico, very cheap service. They come pick it up, they bring it back. That's it. My laundry is done. And they fold it really nicely, so it requires like nothing else to do with that clothing. So I delegate that. What else do I delegate? Every stuff related to my work that I'm not good at. Like, for example, I needed to edit my book for my ebook for all the different platforms, and it's quite a hassle. It's actually quite a complex project to make your book available for all of the platforms, make it compatible. And when I understood that the process is actually quite complex, I'm like, okay, who is the person who can do it for me? And actually, Smashwords, a platform for ebooks, had a list of people that they recommend who can do it for an affordable price of $75. They added your book for all the platforms out there. So that I delegate. Or if I need to edit a lot of videos for my courses that I did, I also delegated. I paid a person to do a really nice job that in years I would not be able to do. And I don't want to be learning video editing. It's just not something that I want to pursue full time. So things in not my zone of genius when it comes to my work, I delegate all of them. I work on my communication, I work on my speaking, on my writing, on my coaching, on content creation that delivers the most value to people, that engages people. I'm still working on that one. Not as good as I'd like to be at that. I work on my nutrition education. I work on all the things that I want to get better at and I want to be known for. Other things, nah, not really. And that's how all high performers save a lot of time and achieve much, much more than a lot of other people. They just delegate a lot of stuff and they do it in a smart way. So they don't spend their energy where they don't enjoy, and that's not their area of expertise, right? So get over your ego. You don't need to do it all. In fact, that's the thing that's gonna slow you down the most if you try to do all of it. So delegation, it's really good framework. Everything that you don't enjoy and you don't want to get good at, work on delegating as much of it as possible. Automation. Now, here I already talked about automating your meal delivery, for example. an example from a client of mine who has an online business, consulting education in sales. What he did, because he was scaling his team, instead of explaining to each member the same concept of the work, he made a video while walking through one person through the onboarding process, through on the concept, all the things that they needed to know. He made a video while doing that, and then the next person comes in and he gives them this video, he sends a link, and he says, you gotta watch this, and then if you have any questions, please reach out. And then they would have a much shorter chat, and the whole onboarding system was, partially to a big extent automated. And there are a lot of things that you can do like that you do once or a couple of times, and then you automate it again via recording, via delegating, via saving this information, putting it on autopilot. Maybe some payments can be put on autopilot. Again, maybe your groceries can be automated, so they deliver certain things every month. Like Amazon, I think, has this like button dash, I think it's called, where you set the time when you want the product to be delivered, like for example your toothpaste, and once you press this button, you get a new it's either like set it and forget it the time or schedule, or you just press it and you get automatically everything delivered without having to put your information somewhere, and things like that. So really simple automation process. And then batching. It's a concept that you can also apply to so many things. You can batch your emails for certain hours of the day, for certain days of the week. You can batch paying your bills. You can batch dealing with certain kinds of people or problems. Like for example, you can batch your calls. You can batch podcast creation. You can batch video creation. And by batching, I don't necessarily mean like you have to do it at on a certain day. What I also mean is I personally batch according to time of the day. Like I check my emails. I'm not working in some industry where I have to check emails all the time. So I batch my emails for once a day, for most of the time. I batch my social media 3-hour intervals, usually 9, 12, 3, 6 p.m. I batch my calls. I have special times for podcast recording and special days, Wednesday and Friday. And I have special times for clients' calls, and I have special times for when people can book calls with me, right? I put it in my calendar, and there are specific time slots where all of this can be done for like with other people. And what it allows you to do, every time your brain has to switch tasks, it takes more cognitive resources that we know are limited for everyone. And so every time you have to switch the task, it's additional work, additional time, additional energy, and it's harder for you to get in the flow and actually get more effective at getting done any specific task. What I mean by that, if you dedicate, let's say, 3 hours to writing or to podcasting, you're going to get better and better and better while doing that at doing this specific task. If you switch between, 1 hour of podcast, 1 hour of calls, 1 hour of, emails, 1 hour again of podcasting, you have to switch each time, and each time it's going to take you time to get into the zone for this specific activity, and you're not going to be as good at it if you were just to create a block of time when you just do one very similar task. So that's what I mean by batching. And as you can see, that is a very flexible process. You can apply it in so many different ways, but the underlying principle is you want to understand, you want to eliminate as many as possible instances of switching between tasks. So if you gotta check your email several times a day, that's fine, but don't do it every second when it comes in. Don't have all these notifications that interrupt your train of thought and the process that you're doing, making you even less efficient at what you do. Instead, set the time in your schedule, or just know about that you check your email 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m., whatever works for you. The same for podcasts, the same for calls, the same for checking your messages. Unless, there is something super urgent, maybe create a special account, get a special SIM card. Those are, cheap for urgencies, and the rest is schedule and eliminate those instances of switching your attention as much as possible. So to sum it up, eliminate, batch, automate, delegate. Those are the things that you need to get better at to create more space in your mind to be able to manage more and more complexity in your life with your business, your relationship, again, your personal, your professional life. So this is a skill set. And when I work with anyone, I look at their life and I'm like, okay, and I start simple. I start with meals. I start with exercise. I start with wardrobe. I start with email. Whatever I know people do, I ask them about this process. Like, do you have to do it? Or you just, you've always done it. This is your ego, like, this is my job. But is it really? Or somebody else with a little bit of training, or, like, for example, getting a personal assistant, an executive personal assistant. Yeah, it takes quite a lot of work up front, but then you have your hands free, your head free, what's even more important, for so many hours a day that at the end of the month, they probably save you like days of energy and time and mental space and save you from burnout and cognitive fatigue. So those things, they really enhance you and they allow you to do more with your time, and they allow you to achieve greater results than if you were to just do everything as you always do and do everything yourself. It's like, I talk to my mom. She always says, well, Angela, she doesn't work anymore. She's retired, but she's always busy cleaning, doing errands, etc., etc., etc. And it just shows me that there is always something to do if you decide, especially if you decided to do it yourself. She spends like a couple of hours on cleaning every day. I'm like, if I had to spend that, I would not be able to do anything. Literally, like, no podcasting, no client work, no outreach to my potential clients and companies, and like no working on other ideas that develop into future businesses and grow my brand, right? If I had to do it all by myself. So get over your ego and start delegating. And also, get over your cheapness. Yeah, you'll have to pay people, sometimes more, sometimes less, but you will free yourself energy and time. And with that, you can unlock your genius, stay in your zone of genius more often, more time. And that will bring career development and business development and more money and just more satisfaction from your life, because you're going to be spending more and more time and energy on the things that you actually choose, that you actually enjoy, that you actually want to get good at, and that are actually meaningful to you, right? Like, cleaning is not meaningful to me, so I don't want to get good at it. Even if I'm like the worst person at it, like, I'm good with that. So even if you are a self-development person, like most of you are on this podcast, if you want to be good at a lot of things, just be bad at some things, because otherwise, guys, you're not going to be exceptional at something that you truly care about. And that's it for today, guys. It's about burnout. It's about saving your energy and your mental space, and being able to make better decisions and growing in areas of your life that are really meaningful to you. It's all about that. And it's a skill set, and you got to practice it, and you got to sit down and look at your life. Or another method is when you're about to do something and it feels like somebody else could be doing that for me. Like maybe cooking, maybe groceries, maybe cleaning, maybe answering that email, maybe scheduling that call. If you have this thought, well, look into that and get off your plate as soon as possible so you could get something more meaningful on your plate. If you have any questions, guys, reach out. If you want to walk me through this decision minimization process from scratch, you have a free call available to you as a listener of this podcast. It's in the show notes. The link is in the show notes. You also can ask questions on Instagram. But yeah, just book that call and let me help you to go through your day with a fresh pair of eyes and ask you questions like, is it really the thing that you want to be doing? Is it really necessary? Is it really in your zone of genius? Do you really enjoy it, right? Is it really meaningful? I'm going to ask you all of these hard questions that a lot of times you're not able to ask yourself because you've been in your life and in your head for so long. So schedule that call. Share this episode with people who you care about, who might be going through a lot of overwhelm. And till next time, as usual, guys, eat better. daily.